久しぶりだな、黒崎。
The man is back and better than ever. After 5 episodes of Bleach 1000-Year Blood War Season 3, you might be asking yourself, is it worth watching? Well, let me ask you this question. If you're not watching Bleach, what are you even watching this fall season? Because I know damn well you're not watching Uzumaki with its pathetic animation like, bro, what is this? There was no way that they thought they were going to get away after only running for about 2 seconds. And oh man, don't get me started on Blue Lock, one of the best-selling mangas in 2023, and yet you are coming out with slideshow ass animations, with the newly released episode placing #1 this week over animes like Re:Zero, Blue Box, Dandadan, and more. There is so much to go over on why you should remember this substitute Soul Reaper's name, Ichigo Kurosaki. I'm just gonna lay out the facts, not sugarcoat anything, but try to convince you on why this anime is absolutely peak. With its reputation on being one of the big 3, this shouldn't be too hard. Then you can decide for yourself whether or not you want to watch it. I'll be doing an in-depth review on the new season, and there will be spoilers ahead, so here's your warning. We start out the first episode where we left off from last season, Squad Zero vs Stern Ritters. With Squad Zero being one of the strongest squads is no joke. It consists of 5 core members. Firstly, Tanjiro, who is also known as the greatest healer in all of Bleach. He was Unohana's master, which should give you a general idea of how strong the man actually is. Then we have Otetsu, given the nickname God of the Sword. He created the first Zanpakuto and helped Ichigo reforge his single-bladed Zanpakuto into a dual setup after discovering Zangetsu's true nature. Kiryu was previously a captain of Squad 12 before Kisuke, making her the most recent addition to Squad Zero. And lastly, Senjimaru, who created the black uniforms that all Soul Reapers are shown wearing. We'll talk about Ichibe in a moment. Squad Zero was losing tremendously in this battle, so they decided it was time to get a bit serious. In exchange for 3 of their lives, the Blood Oath seal has been broken, and it's time for Senjimaru to release her Bankai, so powerful that it can be felt within all 3 realms. It consists of a giant sewing room that traps her opponents in tapestries that assault them with a variety of different attacks. This is proving to be very troublesome for the Stern Ritters and give a small advantage that the Soul Reapers are looking for, at least for now. Afterwards, we shift into the fight with Ichibe and Yhwach, where it seems like this fight is very one-sided, as Ichibe etches the name Black Ant over Yhwach's body, and he's soon stomped on and crushed like the Black Ant that he is, and it seems like this fight is over. Sadly, this battle was not in favor of the Soul Reapers, as Yhwach regains his true powers. His eyes can now see and know everything that is about to unfold, foretelling what the future beholds. Ichibe pulls out his trump card and summons some sort of domain expansion and sings for about a minute, only for Yhwach to hit him with what Kakashi hit Zabuza with. If you know, you know. There's no room for comprehension or countermeasures against the power Yhwach has. Everything he can see is powerless against him. This awakens unseen powers for the Quincy's, and Uryu is able to swap positions with Senjimaru, who is overly confident, trapping her and shooting her with an arrow. Yhwach slowly makes his way to the Soul King, where Ichibe trusts Ichigo to not kill Yhwach, but to stop him, as the death of the Soul King will cause the world of the living, Hueco Mundo, and the Serete all to collapse. In the next episode, we are dealt a flashback, and Yhwach states that the Soul King is his father. He ends up with enough time to stab the Soul King, causing the keystone that holds all the 3 worlds together to begin to shake tremendously. Ichigo arrives, and the battle between them pursues as they exchange blows. They release different techniques, and you really couldn't tell what was going to happen next. Did Ichigo's training with Squad Zero pay off, and is his new power, Getsuga Jusho, enough to stop Yhwach? No, it's not enough, and it's time for this battle to get more serious. The difference between their power is something we cannot comprehend, as he can see Ichigo's every action, giving him enough time to dodge each attack. Even faced with the fact of not being able to win, this isn't the time for Ichigo to give up, as he wants to protect all 3 realms from being destroyed. Even with the help of Yoruichi, it still cannot slow down this monster. In the biggest twist of events, the Soul King isn't dead, and Ichigo pulls out the sword that Yhwach stabs him with. Given him the spiritual pressure that resides in his sword, the Quincy blood that courses through Ichigo cannot forgive the Soul King for what he has done. Foreseeing the future, Ichigo splits the Soul King in half and ultimately almost destroys the Soul Society that he wanted to protect with his own hands. To completely break the Soul King's seal, it possessed someone with the power of Quincy's, humans, Soul Reapers, Fullbringers, and Hollows, all of which Ichigo had. With the Soul King dead, all 3 worlds will cease to exist. Episode 3 hits us with something we weren't expecting. Jushiro will take the Soul King's place, but how is that even possible? A flashback would explain Jushiro's backstory and his sickness from a young young age. We are met with his parents praying to a god named Mimihagi, the divine hand from the heavens, and it blessed him with the power to kill the illness that resides in Jushiro. And although Mimihagi saved his life, he was still sick from a serious lung disease. After growing older and becoming good friends with Shunsui, he shows him the divine power of the Soul King that dropped from the heavens. He performs a ritual known as Kamikake, allowing every organ in his body to belong to Mimihagi, and in doing so becomes the Soul King's right arm itself, sacrificing himself and giving a bit more time for the Soul Reapers. Trying to undo their mistakes, Ichigo and his squad do everything in their willpower to attempt to take down Yhwach, but their efforts are useless. But this future of what Jushiro did was not what Yhwach's eyes foresaw, leaving him shocked with what happens. If the Soul Reapers wanted a chance at winning, the smallest of chance at flipping this battle was going to be the biggest risk that Shunsui would take. Aizen Sosuke, who has been sealed for his criminal actions, one of the greatest villains in anime, finally will have a chance to fight. Is it for the sake of the Soul Society? No, not exactly. He's just staying true to his curiosity like he's always been. Going on to episode 4, Yhwach believes the fact he wasn't able to see the future proves that this is the Soul King himself. Wondering why the Soul King has grown attached to protecting the Soul Society just angers him. This gives him the fighting chance that they were looking for and seek to preserve what is left of the Soul King. But a man who was once their friend and Ichigo's closest ally stops him in their tracks. It's Uryu, and as a Quincy, it's his duty to defend his majesty. Ichigo is hoping he will stop messing around, but has to understand that Uryu is not the friend that he once was. Ichigo is not willing to kill him, but this Quincy has lost all sense in reasoning and believes the world doesn't need Soul Reapers, showing his true resolve. The battle between them rages on. Uryu takes on a new form, no longer convinced that Soul Reapers and Quincy's can find a common ground. In a split moment, he proves to Ichigo that his resolve outweighs his fighting spirit, putting an arrow straight through his chest. The Stern Ridders have arrived, and although Orihime, Chad, and Ganju put up a good fight, they are no match for their opponents. Even one Stern Ritter is enough to take them down. The power fueled by the Soul King is through Jushiro's own life, and stabilizing the world in place of the Soul King would tax it greatly. Yhwach finds a way around this and steals the power he desires, wanting to restore the world to the way it should be. Episode 5 opens up with pure chaos. We see something coming through the Soul Shield membrane, covering up the Serete as Soul Reapers try to flee with these unknown creatures trying to bite them. Their top priority is protecting the lab, but to their prevail, nothing seems to work. The man of the hour arrives with the most badass statement: why waste time swatting them with a sword when you can crush them with just your spiritual pressure? Many are opposed to Aizen's help, considering what he's done in the past. It's utterly unacceptable. But in Shunsui's eyes, fighting evil with evil is not an evil act. Surprising Shunsui and catching him off guard, Aizen decides to take things into his own hands, and the act of freeing him shows how uncontrollable the man is. His powers are still restrained though with the Soul Society technology created by the intelligent Captain Cour. Unannounced, they find themselves in the attack of the leftover Quincy invaders, but this doesn't prove to be much of a problem. Bosby and his squad betray the Quincy, wanting to help the Soul Reapers kill Yhwach for leaving them behind. Shunsui then gathers all members of the 13 Court Guard Squad to borrow their spiritual pressure. It seems Captain Zaraki has made a full recovery after his fight with Gremi that was probably one of the greatest fights I've ever seen. His lieutenant is nowhere to be found though. Giving a speech of a lifetime, Shunsui explains what has happened so far and that the world is on the brink of destruction. Past grudges are now irrelevant as the Quincy's are teaming up with the Soul Reapers. This gets them excited. They will be storming the Royal Palace, and the Visors make their arrival just in time, putting on their outfit for the first time in a very long time. Soul Reapers and Quincy's are joining forces. Is it to protect the Soul Society? No, it's because they share a common goal, a common enemy. They might not be able to return, but no one is worried about that. They want to win this fight and don't plan on losing anymore. It's time to finally mount a counterattack as Ichigo is saved by Orihime, and old rivals will arrive to help him when he least expects it. If you haven't watched Bleach yet, I recommend you give it a try. The well-structured character development to the epic battle scenes, there isn't a moment that will waste your time. The story is amazing and the animation is top-notch, making it fun to watch. What are you watching this fall season, and has Bleach met your expectations? Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day. See ya!